All right, hello out there in cryptocurrency land. Welcome to an extreme stream by Real Crypto. Thought I'd jump on here with the markets. Look like they're taking a bit of a turn. Constantine, you are first, my friend. Bam, you are quick on that trigger. Constantine's quick. Good job, Constantine. All right, how's everyone doing? Let's wait for a couple people to load in here. I did just jump on here. No invitation, no Stonger, how you doing? 1337. Casey, man, looks like it's the Power Hour crew. Channel 9009. What's up, buddy? Long time no see. Man, lots of Power Hour members here today. Very nice to see. Glad you guys still remember me. All right, what's up, everyone? Well, how you guys enjoying your Bitcoin fall? This is actually a little bit more than I was expecting. I think in my last video I talked about a measured move coming down here, and it looks like we've hit that target right now, right at the $8,400 level. So does that mean we stop here? Does that mean we continue? Does that mean we bounce? I know everyone's looking for a bounce. The only problem is this is a very, very extreme sell-off right here. I would not be surprised if we consolidated and then continued lower. I don't think we just tank into nothingness, but I do think that we consolidate lower. This is not healthy action at all for Bitcoin, especially with the volume really not being super high. It's high compared to most recent. Hey, what's up, Kiss? How you doing, buddy? So, all right, let's get to a couple questions. Guys, the room's going to fill up quickly here, so I may not get to everyone's questions. Feel free to re-answer them. I'm going to stay tuned to the bottom of the chat here, and you can see on my screen what's up right there. Trade Crypto, how you doing? Catching a rare extreme stream. We don't do these a lot anymore, but I'm going to try to do them a little bit more frequently, especially during market action. When the market moves, I like to jump on just to answer some questions for some people. All right, so like I said a little bit ago, I took a measured move from the top here to this most recent low. We tried to bounce, we failed to rally over here, and we rolled over, and we literally hit my target. I mean, almost, it's hit. The low here is 83.75. This one's 83.80. Close enough. It's got hit. But these measured moves are never exactly precise. I always kind of eyeball it, so... but what does that mean? Does that mean that we stop going down? I don't think so. I think we may actually, I think we may continue a little bit here. This is very extreme selling, especially with no upward progression. That basically means that the buyers have stepped aside and the sellers have taken control. Usually what happens in a market situation like this, because keep in mind where we're at on the daily chart. Okay, keep in mind where we're at on the daily. Now, I have my moving averages here. I have this 200-day moving average, and I have the 50-day moving average here in the aqua color. These are not exponentials. If yours look different, if yours are much closer together, last time I looked at an exponential, they were very close. These are just standard moving averages with no exponential portion to them. The exponential part means that it weighs more of the more recent action. So, but right here you can see we are actually getting higher volume. We talked yesterday waiting for higher volume. 2.5 hours left in today. So this volume won't be extraordinary, but it's going to be enough to get us lower. And you can see here, ever since we had this big pop to the upside here, right here with this big candle, we've been marching higher, marching higher. There was a trend line that was developing here that we actually broke. And I haven't really talked much about this trend line. The problem with my videos sometimes is I don't really script them because I'm kind of an off-the-cuff type of a guy, and some things get missed in my second and third iteration of the videos. But there's a trend line here that was broken, and then actually I think I did mention, no, I mentioned this trend line. We talked about this one right here actually. But actually had a lower sell point right there. So check the dominance on BTC. Okay, let's do that. Speaking about going to CoinMarketCap, I do want to point out the market cap dropped under $400 million extremely quickly. It was sitting at about $450 million. Let's go ahead and go into market cap. It was sitting at 464. We were looking at this earlier in the power hour. and it rose up to about 463, 464, and then it dropped very quickly down into the 383 level here. So you can see it only took what, like 4 days? 4 days just to drop all the way, basically 20%. All right, and if you look at dominance here, what are we looking specifically with dominance? The fact that Bitcoin's curling back up a little bit. Yeah, that's the altcoins selling off. Bitcoin didn't sell off 20%. This was a lot of altcoins selling off. Korea FUD again. Retards think Mt. Gox coins are going to be sold just because they moved. Check the Bitcoin dominance. We're doing that here. Yeah, Bitcoin dominance curling up a little bit, and I think that's due to the fact that altcoins are selling off. The altcoins is where the money is, and usually during corrective actions in markets, they take profits, and you can only do that if you have a profit. So not a lot of Bitcoins being sold off, but a disproportionate amount of altcoins is being sold. Do I think Bitcoin will go to 7,700? Or you still think Bitcoin will go to 3,600? So here's the thing. A couple things have happened. You know, we've been really rhyming Bitcoin comparatively to this 2014 market. And this is the 2014 market. According to my analysis, we should be in this part of the market cycle. I say should be because even though these have been rhyming, they are not a leg for leg move. Keep that in mind, right? It's not a leg for leg move. I'm not going to recap the entire analysis here. I have previous videos if you really want to do that, but what we have here is a 3 drops down in the market cycle, a 100% retracement, which we've already had on the way from 6,000 to 12,000, a double top here that failed, and so I think we've been in this part of the market cycle. The difference is that we don't have a lower low here. We have a trough, like so, and then an up thrust that actually brought us much higher. I would say probably up to here. So there is a potential that we do still kind of facilitate this 2014 market action. What I think it does, though, is I think it raises the floor from my original low of 2,400 to all of my most recent analysis leads to 3,600 if we get the capitulation bottom as the ultimate low. That's kind of where, don't mind this line. This was meant for something else for Power Hour. But that's really kind of, a lot of my analysis leads that if we do get a spike low capitulation, we get down to this level here. Now the question is, do we get there quickly or do we get there slowly? That's the question. That's the question right here. The failure to run up here, I actually thought we would go higher than 10,000. I didn't think we'd quite get to 12, but I thought we'd go higher than 10, and we did not. And the volume just didn't support anything. So I think we get down to 7,400. To be quite honest with you, I do think we get there. There's no analysis in the charts this minute that necessarily leads us down there. All the analysis says there's actually a larger head and shoulders at play here, right here. Okay, and this particular head and shoulders leads us to the 8,000 level. 79.55 is where this leads us, right to the bottom of this basing area here. You see this low over here. So yeah, so the technicals right now lead us down to this 8,000 level. Past that, we'll have to kind of evaluate where we are. If this remains, because this is extreme weak action, guys. You see this downtrend here, it obviously has a connotation to it. We didn't even come close in terms of slope. This is a much more aggressive sell-off. Obviously, it's a much more aggressive sell-off. And if we have a nice sideways consolidation towards these lows somewhere, then it means that definitely we're getting down towards that 7,000 level. But someone mentioned they were bullish in Bitcoin. I am not bullish in Bitcoin. I also don't do what's called catching a falling knife. I don't believe in arbitrarily buying what you think is a low. I like to trade off of confirmations. So why I didn't buy any of this area down here, we did talk in the past. We actually caught this low right here in real time as it poked above this 7,600. We did see Bitcoin there. We did talk about buying Bitcoin here. We also talked about, if you missed that, there's an entry up here. We also talked about the head and shoulders here. But really, your first really good buy was right in this area. That was your first really, well, let me rephrase that. This was really your first good buy right there. Outside of that, there was some basing action that took hold. You know, you could have bought maybe off of a trend line break right here, and this is actually where this head and shoulders failed. You see those two areas kind of coincide right there. Those two areas kind of coincide, the trend line break to the downside and the head and shoulders trend line break back up. So this could have been a good buy. This could have been a good buy. But I wouldn't arbitrarily be buying a spike low like this because you don't know where it's going to end. I've seen several people, even in my Slack chat room, talking about, you know, looks like it's going to bounce, looks like it's going to bounce, and then it doesn't. It doesn't bounce, and the volume and the price action really leads you to that. To that conclusion. Is the fact that all of these bounces have been weaker and weaker and weaker. And I thought we would get a decent bounce out of this, but no, we didn't. I mean, there's no bounce here. I'm on a 2-hour chart, and 3 huge wicks to the upside, all downside action, volume declining, downtrend. There you go. All right, what do you think about setting a higher low in the weekly time frame for Bitcoin? A higher low in the weekly time frame for Bitcoin. Let's go take a look at that. So a higher low, weekly or daily, would be about the same thing. Look at those trend lines. On my weekly, it looks like, what are you thinking, Randy? What are you doing? That is not charting whatsoever. That's funny. You know, it's possible. The thing about this is, guys, is that volume is going to be the key. And I've been saying that for the past couple of videos, is that volume is really going to be the key. You can see the weak volume on this up thrust up here, and then we have a nice big down week. And what it's what, Friday? I don't know what, does week go Sunday to Monday on these things or what? But anyway, yeah, we could get a higher low. What's at play here really, and I'm going to go to the daily because I'm more comfortable on the daily, at least in crypto. On stocks, I'll talk weeklies all day long. In crypto, I don't think it's warranted, to be honest with you. So there's a symmetrical triangle at play here. All right, so even if we do get lower here, there's a good possibility we could stop down here towards the 7,000 level. You know, depending on if this trend line's respected or not. I've got a lot. I'll clear that out here in a minute. That's really, really fuddy right there. You know, but say this trend line's respected. At worst, we get down to 7,000 by May 29th. So, but yeah, I don't arbitrarily buy lows. Someone talking about having to bounce. Looks like we're following downtrending triangle pattern on the same one I posted on your Twitter. If it stays within the pattern, we could bounce at 7K. What do you think? I think I was just discussing that a little bit, Mario. So coming down here to the bottom of this symmetrical type of triangle pattern most definitely is in the cards, especially if we keep up with higher volume to the downside here and just general bearish action. If you're playing the bounce, wait for confirmation. Yeah, I don't necessarily, you know, I don't mind playing bounces, but you need to have confirmation. I agree. Higher low, higher high on the hourly. Higher low, higher high on the hourly. Where's your higher low? There's no high. I don't see a higher low here at all unless you're looking way over here. But it's still falling. Guys, there's no low in place here. I guess that's the point. There's no low in place right now, so you can't call anything because it hasn't happened yet. This you can call as a low because we had a subsequent bounce. This is not a low in the same way that this was not a low. I believe that Bullable Guy does have a point. The Lexus will flex us from Long Beach to Texas. You are correct. You are correct. Neo, please. Yeah, we can take a look at some Neo. Look at some alternate coins. How's AE doing? By the way, guys, if you haven't seen AE yet, just keep an eye on this, please. It's just the most beautiful cup with handle pattern ever in crypto. All right, let's look at some Neo. All right, Neo tanking. What would you like me to say about Neo? Not necessarily a huge fan down here. You know, if the market's in a general downtrend, guys, just stay away from most coins. Looks like we got EOS going lower. We talked about on the power hour, someone was talking about potentially bottom dipping NEO, and I put this trend line here at 562, and we didn't even come close. Didn't even come close to that. Looks like we're rolling over again here. 12 minutes on a 2-hour candle, more than likely rolling over here. So I wouldn't be arbitrarily buying EOS. I wouldn't be arbitrarily buying NEO. Not with this type of action. When you have a general market sell-off such as we've had, yeah, it's general. You don't arbitrarily buy anything. We've had a very good, nice altcoin run. Those profits should be taken by now. I have not looked at XRP. Let's go ahead and take a look at XRP. I'm assuming that's tanking as well. That was tanking yesterday and tanking again here today. So I most definitely would not be involved or bottom buying XRP at these levels. Not a fan. I would wait for confirmation, wait for a high to be broken, wait for green volume to come in on any coin. Got a request for some WAN. WAN was one of our coins we got in the power hour beautifully right there. Bam, we got involved with. Had a nice call there in WAN right there. We were talking about it down here, but that was like our first, or not our first. That was one of our really good calls here in WAN coming out of this base. Yeah, I probably also would not be getting involved with WAN. There's going to be a trend line here. A very aggressive trend line. Very aggressive trend line. Moving back down into this base with the high up here is not healthy action, and we're well within this base. So I would avoid WAN right now pretty much at all costs. Unless you see some arbitrarily extraordinarily bullish behavior, I would not be getting involved. And again, I'm the type of an individual, I don't necessarily, try to play or try to act smart and pick a bottom. I look for confirmation of a breakout to the upside. I'm much more comfortable buying, this trend line break or this early entry point right here. And it's a much more wise trade than to arbitrarily try to buy down here, because you never do quite know where the bottom is. You got out of stock because of bank manipulation. Now we have futures, Mt. Gox crackdowns. I thought I had a fair chance in this game. So here's the thing, D's nuts. You have a fair chance everywhere, to be quite frank with you. I wouldn't worry, you don't worry about bank manipulation. I wouldn't worry. You can't worry about these global macro things that you cannot control. As a trader, you have a few things going for you. Number one, you have the ability to be agile. You can move your positions whenever you want to whatever you want, okay? So that's one thing you always have in your favor. Number two, you can control your emotions, okay? You control yourself, all right? Your job as a trader isn't to get in the most fair market. Your job as a trader is to exploit an opportunity that you see in a market, whether that be in a chart, whether that be due to some fundamental reason, whatever the case may be. You need to exploit an opportunity. And I don't care who else is in the market. It doesn't matter if it's Goldman Sachs, Warren Buffett. I really don't care who. If you have an edge on the market, you will be profitable. Banks be damned, futures be damned, Mt. Gox be damned. It doesn't matter. You'll be profitable if you have an edge on the market that you can exploit. And you can't let... That's basically everything you said there is basically you're fudding yourself out of investing, period. That's really what I see there. I'm not trying to get down on you. I'm really mentioning that for the people that had this negative sense that the world's out to get them. Well, guess what? You're right. The world is out to get you. No one's giving you anything in life. You got to go out there and you got to take it. Okay? You got to take it. You're not, you don't go to workplace. Workplace isn't a fair environment. The best people don't always get promoted, okay? My mother didn't love me and my brothers the same, all right? My mother loved me a lot more. My brother was addicted to drugs and, had all kinds of crazy stuff. And not that my mom had much, but, whatever she had, she, let me use to get ahead in my life. And my brother not so much, because she couldn't trust him. Life isn't fair, guys. Just learn that from the drop. All right, enough about that. 0x. Someone did mention ZRX a few times here. Man, look at 0x. Pretty healthy for a pretty funny market. Beautiful uptrend. Wow. Very gorgeous uptrend. Let's check it out on the 2-hour. Why people believe consensus will give a price boost. All the ones that happened before were during big rally. I don't get why it would have any big effect. Jose is asking. You are correct. What's up, Eli? You are correct, Jose. Generally, most of these large news events, nothing happens because everyone's looking at it. You know what I'm saying? If there's a big edge in the market, it's not very well known by hundreds of thousands or millions of people. So your edge in the market comes from your market knowledge, whatever. Okay, so here's my market edge. My edge in the market is my ability to read charts and my ability to sit patiently waiting for my setups. That's my edge in the market. All right, if I see a very high quality setup and I'm patient by not entering every trade that comes across my desk, then guess what? That's when I'm profitable. It's when I start taking every trade and start looking at everything as an opportunity that should be acted upon is when I get in trouble. That's when I get in trouble, you know? So I don't, everyone's different. There's 223 people in here right now. Each one of you is a little bit different. Each of your edges are slightly different from everyone else's. And some are going to be, have a higher expectancy of return, and some are going to have less. All right, and that's your journey to kind of work that way out. So people talking about Bitcoin bouncing a little bit. See a little bit of a bounce there. Okay, so let's go. Okay, yeah, we're looking at ZRX. Yeah, ZRX very I mean, it's holding up extremely nicely, holding up in highs, which is pretty rare. But a lot of times I've seen coins, as you see here, it pops up into new highs, sits here for a while, then fails. We could have something happen in ZRX, especially if the market stays bearish. Then I definitely think ZRX is probably in for some hurt. I wouldn't be too aggressive up here, to be honest with you. I think I don't like buying at highs like this. I would like a handle or some kind of base to come out of this. The volume, on the plus side though, the volume looks very healthy. Nice green volume. We have one big red candle. That's fine. I'm not mad at that. I mean, overall, it's pretty good. So if you do have to get really involved in ZRX, buy it on a spike low. Buy it on one of these spike lows, respecting this trend line right here. Make the trend line your stop, and then just wait for it to go one way or the other. Trade crypto. Do I do Elliott waves? I do not do Elliott waves. What's my horoscope sign? I'm a Gemini, Mark. It's like Aviad bought the bounce. Worst case, it says he'll sell again. If that's in your trading plan, I love it. Whatever you guys have planned for, for your particular style, I'm all about it. I'm all about having a plan and trading that plan. That's what real crypto is all about. I don't necessarily try to shove my style down people's throats. Everyone, like I said, everyone's different. Everyone trades differently, so I definitely respect everyone's trading opinions. Look, especially if you know what you're doing, right? Like, if you're profitable, why would I talk you out of doing your own thing there? So, all right, guys, thanks for joining me today. About 23 minutes into this extreme stream. If you guys do me a favor, please like the video, share the video if you're enjoying the content. Let's get some more people in here. Probably some people that are confused about Bitcoin, don't quite know what to do. I do enjoy kind of helping people with their portfolios and helping you guys get a better grasp on understanding kind of the market cycles. If you're new to trading, I think you'll have a lot of fun on my channel there. All right, so what we got here? I saw ICX up there before it just popped out of the screen. We got ICX here on Binance, Bitcoin. Wow, that is a very nice buy candle. Let's dig down to kind of see what's what here. Wow, big up thrust there. That's quite significant. Very nice volume on this up thrust. You're getting a little bit of selling in here. This ICX volume is very encouraging. I haven't been a big all right, come on. Have you guys had any issues with Coinigy and just keeping your trend lines? I've deleted all those trend lines probably about 12 times now. Probably about 12 times. So this looks very similar to ZRX. Remember how we talked about it was running higher than it could potentially go lower. Here's another example of that. You see here how we broke over the highs, come up, touched it, went into new highs, and came all the way back down. That's another good example of coins that have done that time and time again there. Do Trading View? Yeah, the only problem with Trading View that I have, I agree. I've got Trading View right here. There's a flash sale. Why did I no thanks that? That was stupid. I have Trading View right here. So yeah, you're right about that. The only reason I don't use Trading View is because their Coinbase volume is wrong. Still, it's just flat out wrong. So, okay, where's my... Okay, is there... No, okay, so there's ZRX talking about coming into highs, bouncing and having a potentially lower handle. Here we go. Here's ICX. Like an ICX. This is actually very encouraging action. This is a ton of volume, and I do like that action. There's no definitive buy point here right now, though. There's definitely a trend line forming right here. If it gets above that trend line with some really good volume, or if we can just go sideways up here and form a nice consolidation area, I would definitely be a buyer of ICX as long as Bitcoin's holding half-ass. You know, kind of, basically not ripping your face off. Do I think ETH could take over Bitcoin dominance this year? TA looks a lot better than Bitcoin to me. I don't know. I thought earlier in the market when Ethereum was running counter to Bitcoin, we could have the flippening. However, Ethereum the selling in Bitcoin was too much, and Ethereum just gave up and basically just rolled over. So I don't think we're going to see a flippening this year. We really would have to see Ethereum get up and go on its own recognizance, but it's just not doing that. Don't do Coinbase, do Binance. I see, Eli. I know what you're saying. Thoughts on ZIL? Let's go. We haven't looked at ZIL today. Well, we did in the power hour, but okay. Yeah, so here's the thing. We had this trend line in ZIL here. We drew this in the power hour yesterday. Some people were asking in our power hour regarding ZIL, and we were looking at it right here as it was going above the trend line. I mentioned to sell ZIL up here. That proved to be good knowledge, and we came over and we stopped, and it looks like we hit that trend line one more time, and we're subsequently rolling over. ZIL has had a big run. ZIL's had a very big run. It's gone. You've had the parabolic move up here. It's due a consolidation. So unless you like your money just moving around, you know, down 12%, up 10%, unless you enjoy that type of action, I would avoid ZIL. Keep it on your watch list, but that's about it. I really wouldn't be acting much on ZIL up here. The action isn't bad, though. The volume does not necessarily indicate that it wants to tank. I think ZIL is a high quality coin. I think it's going to do good things, but I think right now it's not good for investing, really. Not at this particular moment in time. BConnect! Anki, are you a power hour member? We were talking about that in the power hour. BConnect! We were looking at that thing. It's got a 10 million market cap. Now 9 million. It's got a $9 million market cap from $2.6 billion down to basically nothing. Oh, I feel really bad. I'm drinking water. That's what I'm drinking. Just plain old boring water. It's Arizona. It's hot outside, and I just stepped in from looking at a preschool for my kid and saw Bitcoin was tanking. Thought I'd jump on a live stream for you guys, and And here we go, talking about BConnect. Nulls. Yeah, what's up with nulls? The coin that won't quit. The coin that won't quit. I have a hard time getting involved in... trust me, I love coins that act based on their own... on their own recognizance, right? Coins that just move up, doing good. But yeah, not I don't know, something about this, and it's probably going to cost me some gains, and that's fair. You know, I don't necessarily see, yeah, I don't want to partake in this, but it doesn't necessarily have to stop you from partaking in it. The only problem is that I don't know if there's much more upside. We did look at this in the power hour as well, and yeah, we kind of discussed the same thing, that it's nice, it's holding up good, but I don't know how much upside movement it has available to it. I see my name. There's a 42 coin inspired from Douglas Adam Moore's A Joke. Could I look at NPX? NPXS? Oh, Pundle X. Yeah, there's nothing to look at here, so I'm not sure if this is something you're literally interested in trading in, or if you work for them and are trying to. Oh, it looks like there's a swap or something going in play here. Looks like Bas Van D says, "Did you foresee this correction, Randy? How do you profit from it?" So we actually did see this correction. I'm not calling it that I'm a genius, but check this out. In the power hour a couple of days ago, right here, like literally right before it broke down, I know a couple members in the power hour went cash along with me. We saw someone mentioned Litecoin during the last little bit of the power hour. We just happened to catch it. We don't catch every drop. The power hours, it's 9 to 10 a.m. So we only have that 1 hour to sometimes it goes to 2 hours, hour and a half. Window, and we did happen to catch Litecoin as it broke down here. You know, if you don't believe me, ask some of the guys that are in the power hour. They're sitting here. But what we noticed is the extreme dry up in volume, and I think I mentioned this in my video last night. We mentioned the extreme dry up in volume. We mentioned that there was a roundover occurring here in Litecoin right there, and for me, what really signified it was this lower level here with lack of upside wicks, okay? And then subsequently, we started dropping a little bit, and then that really got me scared because the volume was higher, and it started, the volume was accelerating pretty quickly. So we actually did go cash here. I wasn't in a position to short it at that time. I did not. Otherwise, that would have been a great trade because I would have been leveraged 25 times. So that would have been... that would have been a great trade, but I wasn't able to short that particular setup, and then from there everything just kind of fell apart. I didn't think we'd fall this far this fast, but you know, you have to take every signal for what it is. And here's the other thing that really kind of foretold that we were due a big sell-off. So these are my favorites on GDEX, just the US dollar pairs, okay? And I really view these as kind of the bellwether for the overall market. Yeah, very choppy markets indeed. The failure to get over these prior highs, so Bitcoin did not get over this prior high here at 9,400. Bitcoin Cash did not get over its prior high, even though it was looking very good, did not get over its prior high. Ethereum, there we go, that's the 2-hour chart. Did not get over its prior high. There, in the larger cap coins, I know Ripple isn't up here. I know I don't cover Ripple enough. I know a lot of guys have been asking for that, but you know, these GDAX coins really point me in the right directions in terms of the market from what I've seen. And just the lack of strength here that we can't get over a prior high definitely indicates weakness. And then you know, the subsequent just fall into nothingness. And you can see right here, Ethereum, which has been the strongest of the larger altcoins, is consolidating for a further downside move. Can I check Adam 18? Adam, I don't know if I can. I'd have to log into BitMEX on my other thing, and that's kind of a pain in the butt. Okay, so you're looking at shorting Cardano right here is what you're saying? Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. Your stop would be up here at the 3290, 3300 level, give or take, something like that. That's about 3 to 4%. That's a little high in terms of a stop loss. It's possible, though. I don't know how much further up we go. The volume is waning. It's very, very low on this rise, which is good for short selling. But the problem, a 3% stop on BitMEX, I'm not sure what leverage you're using, but you need to make sure you have this 3%. Okay, if you don't have this 3%, you're probably just going to get stopped out. But you need to go to the high of the move as your stop and then let it go from there. But the market is consolidating here, so there's nothing stopping it from going sideways, popping higher, and then going lower. Keep in mind they will do some short, some stop buying. Look at ICX, he says. Sorry, Aviad posted a thing, and I don't usually look at it. What about it? All right, looks okay. Nothing too bad there. But yeah, in terms of, oh no, I was over here. Yeah, I think a short could be good, but like I said, your good short, really your best short was up here, crossing this trend line. Okay, this is a pretty well-defined pattern. This right here, not so much. You almost want to let this thing definitely play itself out. There's a horizontal trend line right here, which is not nearly, I guess it's a little less than horizontal. Yeah, it's basically horizontal. If it gets up here towards this, 3,300 level, I'd be more apt to short it up here with a very tight stop loss. I don't even want to give it that 3%, to be honest with you. But like I said, this thing could still consolidate. It's not my favorite short. I wouldn't want to force this trade. So many channels recommending bargain buys. It's ridiculous. I agree with that, to be honest. I pretty much agree with that too. Is it good to buy now, folks? Arnie's asking. I don't necessarily think it's a good buy here. Oh, this one's not supposed to move off my Bitcoin. This is my GDAX chart. I would not recommend to buy here. Mickey, how much leverage do I usually use? About 25 times. I'll use it 25 times leverage. If I go more than that, then I just do weird stuff, and it's bad. So recommending a buy is interesting because if you're asking someone if you should buy, you're not giving them enough information to give you an appropriate answer. One thing that is paramount into any advice that you're going to get is time frame. Okay, so you say, should you buy? Well, are you looking to hold for a bounce? Are you looking to hold for a week? Are you looking for it to go back to 10,000? What is your scenario? What is your market hypothesis? All right, as traders, we have to have an edge on the market and some kind of an expectation. And if you don't have that and you just take someone's recommendation to buy, that is unhealthy and you will lose money. That I can guarantee you. So well, thanks for saying that, Bas van Dijst. Looks like he's going to join the Power Hour. Yeah, you know what? I guess I should plug my thing here. If you go to realcrypto.com, we do this every single day for an hour between 9 and 10. If you go to Power Hour, it's $50 a month every single day, even Saturdays and Sundays from 9 to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, or Mountain Standard Time, I guess. We do this every single day. We talk about the markets, and it's a lot of fun. Be honest with you, it's just a lot of fun. So please feel free to check that out. If you have any questions, you can email me at randy@real-crypto.com. All of the sessions are actually, I'm just going to go ahead and show you my, so this is the Power Hour. Every session is recorded, and it is all here. If you guys want to look at a specific market date to see what I was saying, all of these sessions are recorded. So you can review them at any time. And yeah, fun stuff. We got the next live stream link going up there, and we'll talk more tomorrow. So please check that out if you guys haven't considered that. And also like the video. Please feel free to share it. Pass it around to all of your friend. Pass this stream around to all of your friends. Let's get some more people. Let's get up to 300 people here, guys. Everyone share it on the Twitch streams, Insta books. Yes, I'm old. All right, Stongers, my epic Litecoin pick at the very end of the power hour was literally like, any more questions? And then boom, destruction, Stonger. So yes, Stonger, thank you for mentioning Litecoin. I did, in the back of my mind, knew I was missing a coin, and it was your Litecoin question. So thank you for reiterating that. I appreciate that. Hey man, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say, you know. Alright, ICX. Check EOS. Yeah, we can check EOS. So, you know, EOS broke down. We've been talking in the power hour about the 1610 level being a very hard line of resistance for EOS. And we were forming kind of a symmetrical triangle pattern right here in EOS. And we were looking pretty good. We had a nice pop here to the upside. Did not break the triangle pattern. And then subsequently failed and really broke. And we broke through every level of resistance here in this 1-2 hour candle. We broke through the bottom of this trend line. We broke through that 1610 level. And this morning, some people were looking to get back in. And my recommendation was, you know, maybe buy it if it gets back over this this kind of, basically this high right here, which is at 1558. I had it at 1560. Guys, you always want to go a little bit above or a little bit below a prior support or resistance area, because they can stop hunt and they will stop hunt. And what a stop hunt is where the big money basically hunts for coins. They need to get more coins, and so they're willing, you know, if they need to get another 200 Bitcoin, that they'll spend 40 Bitcoin getting it down to where there's a pocket, like, you know, like say this is Bitcoin and they want to buy it. Well, there's probably, you know, 200 Bitcoin sitting right there in terms of stops, and they can see it on the order book. It's sitting right there. So there's an area of 200 Bitcoin, and if it takes them 40 Bitcoin to get that 200 Bitcoin, they'll sell Bitcoin off, and then it'll rip roar higher. And you know, you see that time and time again in the markets. ELF is moving. You mentioned that coin on your last video. Yeah, ELF was holding really strong. ELF was extraordinarily strong compared to what the market was doing. You can see here on ELF, volume declining very nicely. We have, let's get some perspective here. And guys, keep in mind too, perspective is always important. If you guys are looking at a chart, you know, always try to get as much information as you can. Don't sit here, you know, on a 15-minute thinking you can get all the information to make a decision, because you just can't. You need to get perspective. You need to see where the prior highs are. You need to see where the volume's coming in. You need to see if you're in a high or a low volume area. If you're coming up to a resistance point, if you're coming up from, you know, to or from a support area, all those are very valuable. All right, but yeah, ELF looking pretty good. I don't know if I would get too heavily involved here. Again, with kind of the Bitcoin going on, there's about 7 to 7.5% to a good stop loss point. Not necessarily my best risk reward trade here, but the volume is declining. You're going to need to let this do some more work. All right, coins have to do work in order to have a good setup, and this one needs to do the work. So let this one work, let it go, let it do some things. You know, your buy may be over here, kind of at the 18,777 level on some kind of volume, but with high volume like this, you're less likely to have a good move come out of it. Dottie. So you want me to give a coin review of my daddy. Let's talk about my daddy. All of my daddy issues coming out in the extreme stream. Which is better for cashing out, Coinbase, Gemini, or Abra? You know, I've only used Coinbase. I haven't used Gemini or Abra, to be honest with you. So I guess I don't have a great answer for you. If anyone else has any opinions on that, looks like someone's... Jay Diaz, what's up, man? How you doing? It has been a long time. Okay, so here's the Dottie chart. Let's go to the 2 hour. I don't know what to make of these weird volume areas. I'm pretty sure it's data coming from the exchange that's a little weird, but generally not my cup of tea. I would not be involved in this coin. I would do something else. I would go play roulette with my money rather than play this coin. To be quite frank with you, sorry, not meaning to be rude, but a very choppy coin, very thin coin, a lot of wicks all over the place, so it's really hard to kind of hold something. Interstellar pattern, that's right, Eli. Bam. Eli. Okay, sorry. Thanks, Aviad, for pointing out my volume. My mic sometimes freaks out. So thank you for that. I'm back. Um, what was I saying? I was talking about. Oh, yeah, interstellar pattern. Yeah, that was pretty fun. The interstellar pattern was pretty hilarious. I know I've mentioned this already once today. For those of you new, keep an eye on AE. Just keep an eye on this. Most beautiful cup with handle. One of the most beautiful cup with handles I've ever seen in my life. Ever. It's just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Literally print this out, pin this on your wall, and then come at me when, if the market stays good, obviously. But, man, ooh, love it. Okay. See if I missed something here. Yeah, I'm back. Real Crypto, thank you for your analysis. Could you please check out Cardano chart? Absolutely. Let's do some ADA. Some ADA BTC on the Binance thing. I think Bittrex has more history. That's where I was trading it originally. Well, I'll tell you one thing I do like that sounds weird. I do like this big, massive volume candle right here. These types of candles tend to put in lows, breakouts, or bottoms. Or no, I'm sorry, tops, breakouts, or bottoms. Those are the three things large volume candles typically does. Coming up to a double bottom, it's definitely possible that we kind of have a pause here in Cardano. But I think this was what we were looking for earlier in the BitMEX symbol that another person wanted me to look at. But yeah, right here, I do like that candle, but to be honest with you, overall the general chart pattern doesn't look extraordinarily healthy. It has come down quite significantly. This could just be a pause. We could consolidate for some further downside action. In fact, the individual earlier was talking about shorting it. We talked about shorting it as it went higher, preferably over here closer to the 3150 level, and that's where your stop should be for a short. So now it's about 2.3%. Of course, this is not the same index. So how can you tell the difference between a breakout or a bottom or a top? Well, here's the easy way, in a nutshell. Okay? You break out of bases. Okay? You break out of bases. You can't break out of nothing. Like, you can't break out from here. This is not a thing. You can't come down here and then boom, go up. That's not a breakout. This is a breakout. A breakout is out of a consolidation from a prior uptrend. You base, you break out. Okay? This is a top. A top is after you've been going up for quite some time, and then you have a topping candle. All right? Now, there's no volume here. You don't have to have topping volume, but it's usually indicative of topping. Here's a topping candle right here with big volume, and this particular one put in this 18-day base in Cardano, and then your bottoming volume would be, see if there's bottoming, subsequent bottoming. So here's a breakout volume candle. You see there, see that horizontal trend line? Here's a cup with a handle. There's your breakout volume, and then so here's bottoming volume right here. See, all the way down here, you have a hammer candle on high volume. That's bottoming volume right there. Are your stop losses tighter when you go 25 times leverage? When I go 20, so when you're on BitMEX doing the BitMEX thing where you're trading leverage, it tells you where your liquidation point is, and I always try to make sure I have plenty of wiggle room within my liquidation point to where I want my stop to be, and I will not take the trade if those don't line up. Eli says, main question is how much of my savings I will use to buy at 3,000. That's a great question, Eli. I think I would use all of your savings to buy at 3,000. I mean, I'm going to take all your savings and I'm going to buy Bitcoin at 3,000. That's a good trade for me. It's a really, really good trade for me. AE, not fair, really, as everything is down right now. I'm still in. So that's difficult. When you have a very beautiful chart pattern, guys, this, in terms of like supermodels, this is a supermodel chart pattern. This is a supermodel chart pattern. And, you know, I guess it's the question, do you want to try to woo the supermodel in the middle of a tornado? I guess that's kind of the question that we're in here. Maybe the answer is yes, because you have that kind of game, but you know, I stepped aside from my AE trade mainly because it failed this and then Bitcoin fudded out. So I ended up just, I did Tether because I do have the funds still in Binance, but most of my funds are US dollars. That answers Joe's question here. I am comfortable using Tether for right now. It's proven its way all the way down to 6,000 in Bitcoin. That was a pretty big drop in Bitcoin. So we didn't see it break. So I guess I'm okay. If you have the anticipation of not trading for very long periods of time, I would move it to dollar, however. Defensive buy I made in AE. I don't know if it was much of a defensive buy. It was really an offensive buy. I did expect it to break out. There was a trend line right here. There was a trend line right here that it was breaking out of. And that's what I was buying on anticipation of this trend line break. But little did I know we'd put it another top and form another trend line. So I did have to get stopped out on AE. Well, I didn't get stopped out. I sold it before I got stopped out. And I would have been stopped out on this downdraft here, so it was a good sell. Clarify my BitMEX stop. So I don't want to pull BitMEX up. Yeah, I don't really have the time for that here today. But so this is what I'm saying. If you're looking at shorting Bitcoin, okay, you're looking at the 15-minute chart, something like this. You're like, look, I want my stop to be all the way up here at 86.71. Okay, when you're looking at BitMEX, it's going to tell you before you place your order what your liquidation price is. If I'm looking at this, I want my liquidation price to be like up here, preferably at like 8,800. I want a big wide margin between where I want my stop to be and where my liquidation price is. I want that margin of error, okay? I want that margin of error. That's pretty much all I'm talking about there. Jay says, which moving averages do you use, and do you use the same ones on all time frames? I generally do. It's really difficult to try to manage multiple moving averages on different time frames. The important part about moving averages, and the ones I do use are the 10 and these are not EMAs, these are straight MAs. Straight MAs, 10, 50, and 200. These come straight from the stock market. They work great for stocks. Crypto is a little bit different because it's a 24/7 market. You probably should adjust these. I tried doing that, and I think the problem with doing that is that it's difficult because I think a lot of people still follow these 10, 50, and 200. So the more people follow these, the more they're going to be relevant, if that makes sense. And it's tend to work out well so far. Now, I've noticed on my 2-hour charts that the fifth, I don't use my 10-day that much, but the 50 and the 200 generally trend fairly well. you can see here the 200 came down and we bros the 200 is here in purple. The 200 broke right down here, the 7100. We definitely went bullish, and then it broke up here, and then now we're definitely going back into a bearish mode. So on my 2-hour and on the daily, the 10, 50, and the 200 work. On other time frames, I don't use it that much. Analyze PIVX. All right, guys, got to get out of here in about 5 to 10 more minutes, so please get your last minute questions in. So PIVX is interesting. It has kind of a sideways consolidation. It stopped doing most of this oscillation, which is interesting. This particular sideways action looks like every time it's tried to break out, it's been sold into so far. So there's an expectation of that continuing. I would avoid the coin, but it's not looking bad. It's not looking bad at all. This sideways consolidation, I kind of don't like this due to the fact that it hasn't moved up with the rest of the market. This most recent action, it's just kind of, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's not running. It's just kind of there. Like, it didn't move like 20, 30%. A lot of coins are doing hundreds of percent. So I don't like PIVX from that perspective. Jay Diaz says, do I have a stocks channel or website? I do actually have a real stocks channel, but I only have a few videos. I've been very lackadaisical in real stocks. To be honest with you, I think the reason being, and here's my stock charts, the reason being is because when I do my stock videos, I go off on such long tangents about so many things that I don't think the audience would necessarily be interested in that. But I do plan on doing more real stocks video. Keep in mind also, ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting married in about a month and a half, and if you've ever gotten married, there's so much stuff to do, and so I'm really just kind of focusing on Real Crypto website, getting my courses done, which I'm not happy with them, and I'm revamping the formatting of the courses, which I know sucks, but I think it'll help me get them actually get them done this time. I'm going to focus on that. We do talk stocks in the Power Hour, guys, if you're interested, and we did look at Now and RDSA, which is Royal Dutch Shell. Those are kind of two of my favorites right now. We got involved in the TQQQ down here at about 153. I actually bought that live in the Power Hour the other day, and that's had a nice rise so far. So we do talk stocks. We talk everything investing. There's a guy in there named Venick that does a lot of futures, palladium, stuff like that. Good crowd. Don't do it. Well, yeah, we've been together 10 years, have 2 kids, a house. I think it's pretty much done already. Thanks, Jay. Thank you, Johnny B. Appreciate it. Thanks, everyone, for the kind wishes. Stock exchange is looking shaky. Yeah, I don't think it's looking shaky. Let me show you what I see in here with stocks a little bit. So here's what I'm kind of looking at with stocks. So first of all, we have the big FUD. You know, so we first sold over here, kind of right after this rounded top area. We sold right here. We had the big FUD. We weren't involved with that, so that was nice. And then we have a series of higher lows, and this is the Qs. These are the NASDAQ. Okay. Now what we have is we're back above the 50-day moving average. That's key. That's very key. And this action over here is very healthy. Very, very healthy. And subsequent rally going up here on lighter volume is actually good too, believe it or not. I don't marry the stocks, Jay. I treat them like the whores that they are. That's all they are. Jose mentioning different opening for different markets have different characteristics. You know, they do, and it changes. It changes. There's never any pattern that's followed for any super long period of time. Marriage is the leading cause of divorce. That is true. All of my research that I've been doing, because I've been looking at divorcing too, I have found that 75% of 100% of marriages are caused due to divorce, or due to getting married. That came out bad. Damn it. Does the different time zones have specific characteristics? Can I look at ARK? Yeah, we can look at ARK. What is that, a website? That is not a website. That is a Thinkorswim trading platform. Oh, wow, look at ARK. Wow, I'm like half tempted to say this is a decent buy right here. Coming back over this on really good volume, this probably is a buy, to be honest with you. Gosh, it's so choppy though. This is just a choppy coin. It likes to come up and come down and come up and come down. I wish there was higher volume here. This does look good. This does look good. An hour 26 left in this 2-hour candle. This is going to be a big candle. Could be one of those topping candles. You see here all this volume right here coming to the downside, but I would definitely. It looks pretty good. I'm not going to partake on this trade. I don't like the general action. Coming off of these lows like this is actually very good, very healthy. That's a lot of good bottom buying right there. That could, but I wouldn't arbitrarily just buy this, to be honest with you. XVG. It's something said, to be honest with you guys, about passing on a trade. Did you guys know you can do that? You can pass on a trade. You can do that. And that's what I would do with that prior one, is I would pass. All right, so it looks like, yeah, Verge. Verge was one we caught Verge was like awesome. We caught Verge right there. The exact perfect buy point, right, guys? The exact perfect buy point in Verge right there, right before it popped. And this measured move that I laid out here, look at that, hit it almost perfectly. Just gorgeous. The spike higher, subsequent lower. So yeah, we actually haven't looked at Verge in a week or so, guys, right? It's been a long time since we looked at Verge. And I'm still not looking at Verge. That's why we haven't looked at it. It's not doing anything. Avoid Verge. It needs more time to consolidate. ARK weekly huge triangle. What's up, Sapandu? How you doing, buddy? Thanks for joining us in the extreme stream. Yeah, looks like there is a bit of a triangle here. You get these from time to time in cryptos. Looks like it's just trying to break out of it, actually. Maybe that's one of the reasons why we have good volume here coming up. That's possible. Coinigy a little blurry. If it's blurry, it's probably due to stream quality, which looks good on my side so far. I don't see any red flags. TRX BTC. We'll mention Steam and then. Steam bad. Avoid. Yeah, just avoid it. Just avoid it. Just don't do it. Friends, don't let friends buy Steam. I'm trying to find something to say. It's extremely low. It's pointing lower. There is a big wick right here to the downside, which is fine. However, there's not a lot of volume coming into it, so I would not be a buyer here of Steam. Good old Tron. Yep, we looked at this in the power hour. We said no, and we're still saying no. Tron forming a bear flag down here. Definitely could be lower from here. Looks like it's consolidating to go lower. That's the definition of a bear flag. What are you drinking? A soda with ice? I'm just drinking water, Christian. Just some water. ETH. Let's do some ETH. ETH was subsequently forming a bear flag too, was it? 15-minute. Stupid. Yeah, there's your bear flag forming in ETH. So ETH is consolidating for a move lower. Definitely consolidating for a move lower. How do you resist not selling a trade when the particular coins have so much promise? So here's my take on that, Monkeytron. Here's my take on that, Monkeytron. None of these coins have any promise. None of them. None of them. None of them have any promise. They're all garbage. They're all trash, to be quite frank with you. I don't believe in any of them. And let me tell you why. Ethereum, the one coin you should believe in, because it has nothing to do with Bitcoin, and because it is the probably only really well-used, well, it's not really the only, if you go to the blockchain, Steam, yeah, here's the other thing. You want to talk about promise, let's talk about blockchains being used. Steam is the most widely used blockchain. Did you know that? So, the most widely used blockchain has coins sitting at all-time lows. This is because Steam is meant to be sold. Okay, Steam is meant to be sold. You get paid in Steam, so what do you do when you get paid? You spend it, right? So you get paid in Steam, it sells off. Ethereum, arguably the best coin out there next to probably, now Ripple has one of the only good business use cases, even though it's not being used right now. The XRP coin is actually not being used at all right now. Ripple, the company, is setting up blockchain platforms for large companies, but private blockchains. Keep that in mind too, guys. There's going to be a huge market for private blockchains that don't have tradable tokens, and all these are going to be garbage in 10 years, to be honest with you. Ethereum may not even have its current form right now, but Ethereum, arguably the most high-quality coin with the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, it was diverging from Bitcoin, still sold off 73% for no reason. No reason. There was no reason. People talk about fundamentals in Bitcoin. Ethereum actually does have a little bit of fundamentals. A little bit of fundamental data. And why did it sell off 73%? Why did it sell off 73%? Because it just sold off right along with Bitcoin. The selling got too much for Ethereum and it just sold right off. You hold coins that have promise and you buy them at good levels, and you buy them for runs and you sell them. You know, I wholeheartedly believe that. Now, Bitcoin is a bit of a different animal because Bitcoin is the only coin that probably will be here in 30 years. Like, in 30 years, Bitcoin is going to be here. I wholeheartedly believe that. Now, maybe it's Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. You know, I don't know. There's stuff going on there. There's politics in the background. There's mining pools. There's all kinds of stuff happening between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. All I have to say about Bitcoin Cash is that when I transferred some money to Binance using Bitcoin Cash, it took me 3 minutes and cost me $0. So it's a usable technology. But so this is what I'm trying to get at you, Monkeytron. You can't like any of these coins. You can't like them. I wholeheartedly don't think you can. That being said, this, I'm about making money. This channel is about being real, making money. How do you really make money? Okay, none of this hodl stuff, okay? Look, I believe in hodling Bitcoin if you bought it $500, $20, $1,000, $2,000. You can hodl that, okay? Because you definitely do not have an expectation to be in a loss. You can hodl something if you have a massive gain. And I think that's really where a lot of these hodlers come from, is they originally had massive gains, or they originally bought it at really low prices, come into massive gains, and the hodl movement has really turned into, oh, hodl because I don't know how to trade. All right, so that's kind of my thing with hodling. But I don't think you can hodl any of these altcoins unless you get them at these low levels. Okay? If you get them at extreme low levels and the market is in an uptrend, or is turning, then I think you can hodl from low levels with the explicit expectation, and this is what my market cycles webinar is about, with the explicit expectation of a general bull market, okay? And then you can hold whatever the hell you want. I don't care what you hold at that point, but you know, when Bitcoin's pointing downward, when everything is pointing downward, and you know, I talked about this a lot, you know, up in these levels when, you know, when Bitcoin was over 13,000, you know, we were talking bearish in Bitcoin way up here, 17,000. Talking bearish in Bitcoin pretty much ever since. You know, kind of went a little bullish here. That got stopped out within 12 hours. And then we went neutral up here. And I'm probably going to switch to bearish if this stuff continues again. And you can hodl some of your, you know, quote unquote high quality coins at really good price levels. Okay, that's the key, at really good price levels. Okay, you can't just arbitrarily do it from wherever. So that's my rant about that. That's my Randy rant. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get out of here. You know, I'm going to get out of here. We've gone about an hour and 11 minutes. Guys, if you liked it, again, keep in mind the power hour. You know, I know it costs money. I know nobody likes to spend money, but, you know, talk to some of the members in here if you have any questions. A lot of people enjoy it. Very low attrition rate, to be quite frank with you. We have a lot of people. The thing just keeps growing. It's going fantastic. Everything's recorded. We pretty much answer all questions. We try to keep up to date on market everything. Also, if you don't want to spend money, you can go ahead and go to my website, go to real-crypto.com. You can check out, I have a Slack chat room. It says newsletter. I've never actually sent out a newsletter. I've been way too busy. But this is how you get into the Slack chat room. It is free. There's no, you know, your email goes on my list, and if I do send you something, it's not going to be bullshit. So it's all good. But yeah, if you want to get in there, we've got about 340 people, 358 actually people in that Slack chat room. It's a great group of traders. Pretty active. It's been very active recently, which is really nice. Probably the past four months, it's been very active, very fun. I like popping in there from time to time. So thanks for staying with me, guys. Appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good day.